Hello everybody, this is HD Shaves here. I'm back into the video. Hope this finds you well and in good spirits. Well, as of the time of this recording, it's Friday afternoon and shockingly it's 55 degrees and sunny in February. So go figure, this is one of those days that we all dream about during our long winters here in the Midwest. But it's truly a beautiful day. I got out, did my long run for the week, and I'm feeling great. So today, the purpose of the video is to address this breaking news in the gem blade world, which is otherwise pretty stagnant, as you can imagine, but nothing like a little change of branding to really excite some people. So the blade that I have featured on this channel and talked about the most, I'm looking at it now and realize that it's a little rough, is the gem PTFE stainless blade. It says gem on one side and it says stainless on the other. So these were made by the Personna brand here in the US in Virginia, and supposedly those are no more. And thanks to a kind viewer, the channel, thank you, you know who you are, somebody sent me one of the new rebranded blades, and that is under the name AccuTech Pro, which maybe you can see up there. On the other side, it still says stainless. And they also got rid of the Personna double-edged blades, supposedly, and those are also now being changed to the AccuTech brand name. And the purpose of this video is just to say that in my experience, this blade is exactly the same as the old one. It's still stainless, it's still coated with that PTFE, and yeah, it's maybe it'll do something good for the gem shaving world, because now people have something new to talk about. So I'm just loading the blade now into this gem Micromatic bullet tip flying wing guiding eye. This one's tricky to find on eBay because it could be under any of those names. I'm going to be shaving with this razor today, which is on the mild side of the spectrum, I would say. But these blades are the same in that for the first couple shaves, there is a little bit of a kind of harshness, and it's easy to get a quick weeper or two, even if you're super careful. So that's the only kind of weird thing about these gem blades in my experience. For the soap today, we're going to be using Australian Private Reserve Raconteur. Someone was talking about this brand in the last week, and I realized I hadn't used it in a while, and this stuff smells great. It was my favorite scent in 2019, I believe. I did a little end of year video and I voted this my favorite scent. It's one of the few scents where I own the soap and the splash and the EDT, which I don't have right in front of me, but it's just a wonderful scent and perfect for the winter months. If you're experienced, you know that these tubs are not great for loading, so I've scooped out some soap into my Captain's Choice bowl here, and I'm going to be using the Yaqi Rainbow Synthetic today. Okay, let's start this thing. Getting some warm water, and we'll wet the brush through. So it is a interesting time now in that before I had a very specific store and place where I would recommend people go to buy gem PTFE blades, which is to say I wanted to make sure they bought the stainless versions, not the carbon steel versions, and I also wanted to make sure that just they were getting the right kind, because there are so many of these blades that are made for industrial purposes. Please excuse the clanking. And only a couple of these blades are really meant to be used for shaving. So I guess this is to say I'm accepting suggestions now for where you recommend I send people to buy these new blades. And I'm sure there are still vendors that have the old versions of the blades, and I'm sure those will last for you know, a few months, maybe a year. But if you want to get the new branding, just to, you know, maybe you just want to see that name on your blade, I would like to have a link that I can share with people when they ask. So yeah, if you have a vendor that you think is great and sells this AccuTech Pro blade, feel free to let me know. Okay, we're gonna start building our face lather here. I had been using a Badger brush this week, but that was kind of, it was alright, but it was a little frustrating. And was also using straight razors for a little bit in the past couple weeks. I'm definitely starting to think about straight razors again, and I'm thankful to the people who have, what's the word? They've entertained my conversations about various straight razors. So definitely could see myself getting a new one here pretty soon. I have a couple that I would like to try first, and people are kind enough to let me try their precious razors, which, I don't know, for some reason, straight razors, I don't know if I could loan one out. I feel a little better about safety razors where you can change the blade. I mean, I know that you can sanitize a straight razor, of course, but just something seems weird about me sending one out to somebody else. So, yeah. Not surprisingly, this lather has come together pretty well. This is the, I believe they called it the V2 base for Australian Private Reserve. Dan, the person behind the scents, was not really interested in tinkering with soap bases, so I know this was kind of contracted out to somebody else in Australia. I can't remember what other brand of shaving soap that person made, but I think they had their own kind of label as well. Okay, we'll call that good. And yeah, I guess if you haven't tried this scent, it's kind of leathery, sweet, boozy, a little bit woody. There was a Canadian soap maker that I'm blanking on the name now. Highland something, definitely started with an H, and they were based out of, actually maybe they're still making soaps, I don't know, but they were based out of British Columbia, and they did a collaboration with Dan of APR, and I believe that scent name was Eclipse, but it's very similar to Raconteur, so maybe you can find one of those tubs easier than this one if you're interested in trying it. Okay, let's go for the first pass with the guiding eye here. And with these, I'm going to try to, I wonder how, so if I turn my head more, you can see it. You just really want to keep it as flat as possible. And to me, that's always the learning curve for people who come from double-edged shaving to this. You really have to ride the cap. More with this razor. And most gem razors, but that was kind of the marketing gimmick with that guiding eye. Maybe you can see in the middle. Is that's telling you how to hold it up against your face. So again, I'll try to turn a little here. Definitely easier to do your sideburns with a straight razor than with this, but it's not terrible. It just takes a little concentration, I think. And that's, again, going back to the shaving angle, that's the thing with these razors is pretty much any of them can turn to a very rough feeling shave if you don't hold it flat enough. So even this razor, which is on the mild end, you can definitely mess yourself up if you wanted to. Again, always a little tricky to get right under the nose, but you could always come back and get it on subsequent passes, of course. Tempting to apply very light pressure. Some people call these straight razors on a stick. Sorry, it took me a second. And so I also think your lather matters a lot more with these than a double edge. Yeah, it's just you don't want to get kind of stuck when you're doing a stroke with this razor. Yeah. Okay, first pass done. I'll rinse and bring it back in for pass number 2 in just a moment. Pass number 2 with Raconteur. Okay, let's go for our second pass across the grain mostly. It's been a surprisingly busy start to February and end of January. To give you an update, I guess that was the last week of January. I was in Nashville to visit an old college friend. He has his own big band. For those of you who don't know, that's what they usually have people playing in like middle school and high school. If they say there's a jazz band, it's usually a big band, meaning trumpets, saxophones, trombones, and then there's a rhythm section, meaning piano, guitar, bass, drums. So I've played in those groups a lot in my time. And it was great to see my friend doing so well with his own group. They're very difficult to keep together, partially because of the logistics of managing, 16, 18 people at a time. And also the fact that you need money to pay all those people. But my friend is somehow doing it, which is great. Better him than me. And if you're interested in hearing a recording, perhaps seeing a video from the concert, just send me a message in, I don't know, a week or two. I hear that they're almost done kind of putting everything together. So I'm excited to see that. Okay, second pass done. Rinse and last pass coming up. Third and final pass with Raconteur. Okay, use the third pass against the grain, mostly with the bullet tip. So it's great to go to Nashville for a few days. Nice to reconnect with some old friends. There was definitely a strong presence of my former colleagues. There's just like a pipeline of us that moved to Nashville. And then directly after that, I was in Milwaukee to do a studio recording. That was really exciting. It was just a group of guys here from Chicago, but the guitar player is from Milwaukee, and so he knows people up there, so it made more sense for us to record up there, actually. And again, those recordings are being finalized, so if you're interested, stay tuned. And maybe I'll have something to share in a couple weeks. That was not a big band. That was the opposite. That was just a trio. We call that organ trio. So organ, guitar, and drums, which is probably my favorite context to play in. Just a couple kind of weepers here, which it's more annoying than anything because they go away so quickly, but something about my technique with these blades, and there's just always a couple weepers if I do 3 passes, so that's on me, not the equipment. Okay, we're gonna call that good. I'm gonna rinse and come back and talk to you over post-shave. Stay tuned. All right, let's use some of the matching Raconteur Aftershave. This is a pretty simple alcohol-based formula. I thought that this was always a great way to really experience the scents if you didn't want to splurge on a fragrance, EDT or EDP, because some of those were really, really strong. I would say most of these APR scents are just quite strong in general, and so you can imagine that as you level up from soap to aftershave to EDT, it's just one of the strongest fragrance experiences I've ever had was I did 1 spritz of marbles, and I thought I was going to pass out from 1 spray of this thing. So it's strong stuff. Okay, we used the Gem Bullet Tip Flying Wing Guiding Eye. These Micromatics are really cool. Even if the plating has worn away like this one has, it's still just a very sturdy razor. These things are going to last another lifetime, certainly. Just built really well. And we used Raconteur, of course, from APR. We used the Yaqi Rainbow Synthetic. And the AccuTech Pro Gem Blade. I feel like people are still going to call them Gem Blades, even though that's not totally correct. Let me rinse this off and I'll show it to you one more time. You know how they say don't believe everything you see? Well, I can tell you that you should believe this, that these AccuTech blades are the same as the Personna Gem PTFEs, so don't be afraid. Thank you so much if you made it this far in the video. For now, this has been HD Shaves. Take care. We'll see you again next time. Goodbye.